Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is Jinx. Today we are discussing the topic about church, especially when Protestant ask what about the church is so special that you guys are always talking about the church. We can speak to the God directly and we don't need a intermediary. So basically I want to read the scripture to you. Ephesians 5:25. Husbands, love your wife, just as Christ loved the church and gave himself for her. If Christ is defending church, imagine our role as Christians. So I will do everything in my power to safeguard the church against the arguments of people who are trying to tear the Catholic Church down. And I won't even tear a Protestant church down or any other people down. But yeah, let's defend a church. We are talking about the authority of church. When you talk about the authority of church, there are three topics you can cover. One is apostolic succession. I made some notes here. And the second is the role of magisterium. And the third is tradition versus sola scriptura. And especially when you're talking to a Protestant, all you need to do is you need to know what you're talking about and have a scriptural backing for what you're talking about. So the first thing, apostolic succession. What do you mean by apostolic succession? So basically, the church's authority has been passed down in an unbroken line from apostles to the bishop. So from Peter to the bishops of the current time, there is an unbroken line. The first one, scriptural backing, is Acts 1:20 to 26, where Matthias replaces Judas as an apostle. Basically, this kind of shows that the office can be taken, the roles can be succeeded, because Judas, betrayed Jesus and he died, so his office was taken over by Matthias. And 2 Timothy 2:2, in which Paul instructs Timothy, and what you heard from me before many witness entrust to fulfill men who will be able to teach others also. So basically here, there's generational transfer of teaching authority. And then because Paul is instructing Timothy in this. And Titus 1:5, Paul is telling basically to the Titus, appoint elders in every town as I have directed you. So this shows there is apostolic succession, and basically such apostles in every town. Which church is following? It's basically the Catholic Church, and some Orthodox Church also have the apostolic church succession. Basically, we believe it's from Peter for Catholic Church, and I think the Orthodox believe it is Apostle James or somebody. I'm not sure of their history, but that's the two churches which is having apostolic succession. And what is the role of magisterium in Catholic Church? It's basically the church's authority to interpret scripture and interpret traditions. So Matthew 6:18 to 19, where Jesus to Peter, you are Peter, and on this rock I'll build my church. I will give you the keys to the kingdom of heaven. And Luke 10:16, Jesus says, he who hears you hears me, and he who rejects you rejects me. You need to go and read the scripture for yourself, because I'm just writing down the meaning. And 1 Timothy 3:5, Paul calls the church as a pillar and foundation of truth. So you do need a church. It's not everything up in the air. Hi guys, as the second part, I spoke about the church's authority through apostolic succession, through the magisterium, and also the third thing we are talking about when defending Catholic Church is you're talking about the traditions, the sacred traditions versus the sola scriptura. And some of the scriptural is when people say sola scriptura, that means through scripture alone, everything has to be documented. So that is a very widespread Protestant teaching, but that's not actually scriptural by itself. And no Protestant can show you any place where they say you have to follow scripture alone, but there are several references where it says you have to follow the traditions of the church. So the scriptural backing, what you can give to Protestants are 2 Thessalonians 2:15, where Paul writes, "So then, brethren, stand firm and hold to your traditions that were taught by us, either by spoken words or by a letter." And 1 Corinthians 11:2, Paul praises the Corinthians for maintaining the traditions just as I have passed them on to you. So he's talking about the traditions here. And then John 21:25, there are where it talks about there are many things that Jesus did that was not recorded in scripture, and if you have to record it, you need the whole, whole, I don't know, I'm paraphrasing because I haven't written it down. But yeah, which says, everything done by Jesus is not completely recorded. It is passed down as traditions. And as we all know, in the early formation of churches, there was no Bible in the beginning. The church, through its tradition, passed on the teachings of Christ, and it church in its authority put the Bible together. So that's it, guys. I will bring more topics on defending Catholic faith tomorrow. Have a good day. Bye bye.